Welcome, welcome. This is our Time to Tell the Truth series. For those of you that have been walking this journey with us, we are heavy into it. Every week, we're trying to bring forth a lot of positive truths, whether we know about them or not. The thing about the truth, it'll make you free. And we got to know the truth so we can start implementing truth in our own lives, in our families, in our communities. So that's what this is. It kind of relates back to the old TV show To Tell the Truth, when people stood up and only the one who was telling the truth and whole truth, but nothing but the truth. Yeah, those were the ones that stood the test. And so that's the same thing we're doing here. My name is Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. For those of you that don't know who I am, most people call me Dr. Roz. And I've done a lot of things. The things that I'm most proud of is I'm CEO of Dream to Life Production Ministry, nonprofit, and an LLC, and I'm a wife. Those are the two. And then what I want to display here is that I am a certified wellness coach. Received a certificate of completion with Akana and received my certified wellness coach from a naturopathic doctor that I take a lot of pride in calling his name Dr. Eric Prince. And so throughout the weeks, different subjects come to mind. As a matter of fact, you want to go to our YouTube site if you've not seen any of the other teachings and just look it up and see that you can subscribe, look over any of the other teachings that I believe will be a blessing to you. And if you see a way to contact me, which you should see it on there, definitely let me know what subject you'd like to hear some more information about. But this week, we're going to tackle part 2 of what we started last week, and we're calling this Color Me Sick. Yeah, you heard me right. Color me sick. Because what we don't recognize is all these beautiful colors that are in our food are kind of hidden in plain sight. And so when we think about that, when we think about all the things we see in the cereals and in the candies that we eat, all the things that we love, don't misunderstand me. I'm with you. I love them too. But when we recognize them, we have to wonder, why do we have them and the other countries that have banned them? A lot of the artificial food dyes, and that's what it really is, food dyes, they're legal in the United States. So it's a tale of two regulatory philosophies. See, I am of the mindset, and don't shoot the messenger, that they don't want us healthy. They want us sick. Now, nobody would ever tell you that. There's not a doctor that you can walk into his office that would ever tell you that I really want you sick. But when you think about it, and you think about the fact that they pump us with medication, I don't mean that your particular doctor that you really love, I mean the healthcare system. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This system is all about pumping us with medication that does not heal us, does not make us better, but it puts a mask over the sickness, and the sickness is still there. So the United States has a different approach than the European countries. See, our approach here, the FDA, they require conclusive scientific evidence. And see, here's the problem I have with it. I don't mind you wanting to be sure, but my problem with that is, how many people have to die before you come to that conclusion? See, there was a time we smoked cigarettes and Virginia Slims, and we looked good on the commercials and all that kind of stuff. And then one day they slapped a label on there saying it's hazardous for your health, causes cancer. And so they went for extensive human studies before they banned these food additives just recently. And you'll see that they just decided after years to ban one food dye. So this innocent until proven guilty standard, it creates a high bar for regulatory action, whereas in the European countries, their approach is about precautionary. See, the European regulators, they act on reasonable suspicion of harm, even without absolute proof. I don't know. We might have to move, I'm just saying we might need to go to some European countries just to be healthy. And this better safe than sorry philosophy prioritizes public health over scientific certainty. And if you know anything about the European countries and other countries outside of the United States, they have things called blue zones where people are much healthier than we are, and they live to be longer. They live their life expectancy is much longer than ours. And I don't just mean their life expectancy, I mean vibrant life expectancy. Not living to be 100 a year in a wheelchair, you can't think straight, you can't feed yourself. What good is that? So there's corporate influence in this machine that we're talking about here. See, food and chemical industries spend millions annually on lobbying efforts, specifically targeting food regulations. Strategic relationships. The industry maintains close ties with regulatory officials through revolving doors, employment practices, and advisory positions. And then there are economic arguments. Companies claim the dye restrictions would hurt profits, eliminate jobs, and raise consumer costs. Now, so that means you're telling me you're more concerned about profits than people. That's exactly what that means. That's exactly what that means. So there's a double standard. See, double standard, same companies, different products. Double standard. I mean, right now, I promise you, you can research this for yourself. You can take the same product here and take that same product in another country, in the UK, and they're made differently. They're served differently. Here's one, Kraft macaroni and cheese. The US version contains yellow 5 and yellow 6, while the UK version uses natural paprika and beta carotene until the public pressure forced a formula change in 2016. McDonald's strawberry sundae. McDonald's, the McDonald's that you know, the United States version contains red 40, while the European version uses natural strawberry extract for coloring. Kellogg's, okay, Fruit Loops, kids love them, love them. The US version contains red 40, blue 1, yellow 6, and blue 2, while the UK version uses natural colorings from fruits and vegetables. Oh my God. So why is it that we accept this? Well, possibly because we're unaware. See, knowledge is powerful when you use it, but you can't use it even if you don't know about it. That's why scripture tells us we're destroyed for what? The lack of knowledge. So there's a knowledge deficit. Many American consumers don't even aware of potential health concerns associated with artificial food dyes. They say, oh, it's okay. My kids eat this all the time. But have you noticed that sickness and the cancer and the diabetes rates are starting at a lower age? And then if you do know about it, nobody's saying anything about it. See, I've become some kind of an activist, just displaying what I'm talking about here. And when I see other people that are teaching it, I realize we've got to have more people that are sharing the information. That doesn't demand or anything that you may change what you're doing, but at least if you know about it, you can't have an excuse. So we don't have enough people. European consumer advocacy groups, they successfully mobilize the public opinion against artificial dyes, creating market pressure that's absolutely largely absent in the United States. And then label blindness. Now we're trying to get a little bit better with that and demand certain things to be on the labels, but studies show that over 60% of Americans rarely or never read ingredient lists on food packaging. And then the US public education rarely covers food ingredient literacy or how to question what's in our food supply. Matter of fact, guess what? We don't even have health. They don't even teach health in the school anymore. When I was coming up, there was a health class, right? So sometimes we don't understand it's those things that we implement at a young age that can make a difference. And then when we talk about the science, well, what good is it if the science is outdated? FDA's acceptable daily intake limitations. Currently, safety limits established primarily in the 70s and the 80s. This is 2025. Come on, guys. That's outdated. I mean, we changed everything else. We update everything. I mean, you can't keep your phone without them updating it. You can't have your computer without them updating it. But these these laws, these regulations, most of these studies focus on cancer and acute toxicity. Behavior and neurological impacts is largely ignored. And we studied last week that a lot of these dyes are causing behavioral and neurological impacts even in our children. Their unique vulnerabilities, there's not even considered when they look at the statistics and understanding they're children, so they're more open and more vulnerable. And then we continue to do this as we become teenagers and then on to our adult health. We're still doing the same thing with all these artificial flavors. Matter of fact, we're using them ourselves. And then the modern research will raise a red flag. Like in 2021, California reported that food dyes to neurobehavioral problems in children. They caused them. Then in 2007, Southampton had a study that found mixtures of dyes increased hyperactivity. And accumulating evidence suggests dose thresholds may be much lower than previously thought. But see, the thing is, when you think about, maybe it's not that much when you eat one M&M, but by the time you eat the whole package of M&Ms, and you also ate some now laters, and you also ate some of this, and you also ate your cereal, and when you talk about doing this every week, every day, 365 days a year for 40 years, yeah, I think you get the message now. So there's some health concerns behind the controversy. Hyperactivity, ADHD. Studies have linked artificial dyes, particularly the red 40 and the yellow 5, increased hyperactivity in children. And then they're quick to put a label on it. ADHD. Yeah, my child needs Ritalin. Then you got allergic reactions. Sometimes people don't even realize that's where your allergy lies, in those artificial colorings. Documented to cause allergic reactions, hives, asthma in certain individuals that are sensitive to those dyes. And that's why those warning labels in Europe are on those packages, but not in the United States. And then potentially carcinogenic. Listen, Red 3 was partially banned by the FDA in 1990 after being linked to thyroid tumors in animal studies, yet remains approved for use in food despite the agency's own concern. That's why we've just recently had some banning taking place on just this one. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What do we do once we leave here? What do we do once we get this information? Well, read your labels carefully. It starts there. It starts with us as an individual. Read your labels carefully. Take the time. You got to take a magnifying glass to the store with you. Put a magnifier on your cell phone and read the labels. Choose products with natural colorings. Start there. It's not a big thing. And then support companies that have eliminated those artificial dyes. Support businesses who are trying to do it naturally. Community advocacy. Advocate for removal of, when those bills come up and you're able to vote against it, advocate for removal of artificial dyes from the school lunches and educate others about potential health concerns, because it could be your child, your grandchild, your great-grandchild, your grandniece. Policy reform. Support legislation requiring warning labels on products containing artificial dyes similar to those required in Europe. And then push for updated independent studies on the neurological and behavioral impacts of food dyes, especially on the vulnerable populations. And that's usually our communities. You got to push for that. And nobody's going to do it in the big companies, but those independent studies. Because the gap between US and European standards isn't about proof of safety. It's about different thresholds for taking protective action.
4 years from now, we're going to have most of these products off the market.
This is a bowl of Canadian Fruit Loops. Take a look at the ingredients, and there are key differences.
The U.S. Fruit Loops are made with petroleum-based synthetic dyes to make them pop. U.S. companies use artificial dyes to make lots of food look more appealing. Studies have linked these synthetic dyes to neurological problems in some, but not all children, and they have been associated with cancer in animal studies.
Kellogg's say they follow the laws and their products are safe. But in Canada, where many artificial dyes are restricted, natural dyes like watermelon and carrot juice were used to add color to my cereal.
Now, the Trump administration wants the U.S. to be more like Canada.
Today, the FDA is taking action to remove petroleum-based food dyes from the U.S. food supply.
But while there's no national law restricting these food dyes yet, Kennedy is hoping an understanding with companies will help move forward this part of his vision for a healthier U.S. food supply.
Other countries have banned artificial dyes in food, and soon the U.S. will follow suit.
But figuring out if something has added dyes isn't as simple as checking the label. As West Show's Sana Kadange explains, food dye can get past even the savviest label checker.
Bright colors are the trademark of a well-marketed product, whether it be a box of Fruit Loops or fruit itself.
The more redder it is, the more you want it, like an apple.
Priya Kawarlal is a mother of two and a thorough ingredient list reader.
After I became a mom, I think I became a lot more aware. I was a big fan of Cheetos, especially the hot ones. But when I read what's inside of it, I took it out of our diet completely.
Red is the most stimulating color for our appetites, according to research by Frontiers in Psychology, and children are especially attracted to brightly colored food. Cereal box evolutions show how color became integral in its appeal, now with ingredients like red number 40, yellow number 5, and blue number 1.
Before you even go to the grocery store, just spend a little bit of time educating yourself.
There are 9 synthetic food dyes currently approved by the FDA.
These are things that are non-nutritive, so they don't add anything of like substance to foods. They're typically made from petroleum. There have been links to hyperactivity or hyperactive behavior in children. And this is kind of the end of where our recent research lies.
While no randomized studies have been done on humans yet, Dr. Kapoor says a study done on rats in the 1980s showed a link between red dye number 3 and potentially cancer-causing thyroid polyps.
There was a clause actually called the Delaney Clause by the FDA. And it basically said, if anything shows that it can cause cancer in animals, then we must also take it out of our foods. What's most interesting is this was banned in cosmetics in 1990s, but then nothing much happened until now. And really, I think the reason behind that is there's a lot of challenges, right? Removing all of these additives in our foods takes an insurmountable amount of money, changes in manufacturing.
The FDA is calling on companies to phase out all artificial dyes, including red dye number 3, by the end of next year. But with the additives likely to remain on store shelves for now, what can you do to make the best choice for your family?
Nutrition labels can be sometimes tricky to read, even for someone like me. So reading the nutrition label and seeing that it might say red dye 3 or it might say erythrocene, and knowing that those two are the same thing, and knowing to eliminate these items.
Those 9 artificial food dyes may not be so easy to spot if you aren't familiar with their other names, but Dr. Kapoor says it's also important to remember moderation is key.
Eating something one time or the cake at a birthday party, that's not going to be the thing that causes harm to your kid, but it's the accumulation of these things over time.
If it's too long and it looks really hard to read, we don't get it.
Now, a lot of these artificial food dyes have already been restricted in other countries for years. Red 40 is banned in Austria and Norway. And since 2010, the Food Standards Agency in the UK requires food with dyes to come with a warning label. This is a soda found in Scotland, and you can see it reads, may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Sana Kadange, WESH 2 News.
So again, it's about what we do over and over and over again, because we started as children and we continue to eat these same things because we love them, because they're colorful, because they're drawn to us. That's why they put them right there in the eye level on the shelves.
As U.S. health officials announced plans to phase out 8 artificial dyes from our food supply. Fox 8's Richard Jacobus explains which products are being targeted and how they're being replaced.
From grocery store aisles to the candy counter, colorful food on shelves have been appealing to kids of all ages for decades. But for anyone trying to avoid colorful cereals and gummy bears without many healthy alternatives, they sometimes have no choice. But that's about to change.
If they want to eat petroleum, they ought to add it themselves at home. that they shouldn't be feeding it to the rest of us.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. making a promise that he would crack down on colorful additives in food. As part of his Make America Healthy Again agenda, Kennedy, along with the newly confirmed head of the Food and Drug Administration, Marty Makary, kept a promise today announcing that by the end of 2026, the FDA will eliminate 8 commonly used petroleum-based synthetic food dyes from the U.S. food supply.
For the last 50 years, American children have increasingly been living in a toxic soup of synthetic chemicals. The scientific community has conducted a number of studies raising concerns about the correlation between petroleum-based synthetic dyes and several health conditions.
And it's not just the candy, like the jelly beans and the gummy bears, that contain these synthetic food dyes. Walk into any grocery store and down any grocery store aisle, whether it's cereal or baked goods, pick up a label, and you're bound to read the ingredients in fine red, blues, and yellows. But if RFK Jr. gets his way in 2 years, these shells will look a lot different.
They're really just there to make the colors vibrant and supposedly appealing.
Before President Trump took office, the FDA banned red dye number 3 after studies linked the dye to cancer in animals. Dr. Melissa Ring says there are healthy alternatives companies can use when dyeing food, like turmeric or carrot juice, ingredients that wouldn't be considered harmful to one's health.
I think we're going to see a difference. I think there's no reason we shouldn't be able to do this.
Richard Giacobas, Fox 5 News.
That was powerful. She said there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do this. The only reason is because it brings profit.
All right, welcome back to ABC News Live Reports. Kraft Heinz has announced that it will remove artificial food dyes from its food products within the next 2 years. The company saying that only some of its products still actually contain color additives, but the brands that still use the dyes will have them removed by the end of 2027. So with well-known foods, right, Kool-Aid, Jell-O, Heinz ketchup, they could all likely be affected by these changes. And the move, of course, comes 2 months after Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. unveiled a plan to phase out the dyes from the nation's food supply. So for more on this, I want to bring in ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Darian Sutton. Okay, so first of all, what is your initial reaction here to some of these big companies making the announcement they plan to do this? I think it's a little surprising, too, how much food dye is in some of these products. You think that your ketchup would be red. It's tomato.
You know, it is surprising. It's estimated that at least 10% of products within the supermarket have some type of artificial dye in them. Of those products, 40% have at least 3 or more. In terms of the direction that we're seeing today, this is relatively expected, at least from some manufacturers, as you stated, RFK Jr. had that bold initiative to remove at least 8 artificial dyes from the food supply. Now, important context, 2 of those dyes will likely have their FDA approval removed. But as for the other 6, this initiative is very much a strong suggestion, as manufacturers are not legally required or committed to removing these dyes, and the effort at that point is very much voluntary. But with consumer demand, as we've seen in Europe, we're seeing a change in that direction.
Yeah, so in terms of consumers now learning more about what's in their food, are there risks to consuming these products?
Yeah, well, Kana, this is a movement that has been ongoing for over a decade. Many health advocates citing the studies that show that there is an association between increased consumption of artificial dyes and neurobehavioral problems, specifically in children. For example, problems with attention and problems with hyperactivity. However, when you look at those studies, the data isn't fully clear. We do see that association, but it's not clear if there's a cause and effect. And Kana, there are also other studies that have been cited in terms of increased risk of cancer. Now, those studies are mainly animal studies, specifically animal models where they gave animals certain types of dye and they saw increased rates of certain types of thyroid cancer. But it's important to understand that those associations have not been found in human studies. There have been no human studies that show an association with dye and cancer. But at the end of it, these dyes don't provide any nutritional value. And if there is a risk, many are stating, why have it in our products?
Well, exactly. Especially I'm thinking about all the parents out there like myself worried about what their kids are eating and how this could impact a child's brain different than an adult's. So what's your advice to people as they're walking through the grocery store if they want to take a step here to try and eliminate these dyes from their diet? What's the first thing that they should do? Reading the label is an obvious one, but what are the red flags?
Well, when you're reading the label, it's really important to pay attention to what you're reading. When you're looking at that ingredient list, many of us might not be aware that these food dyes are in products that you might not associate with bright, luminous colors. So you want to make sure to pay attention to that label. And most often the dyes are listed at the end of the ingredient list, so you might miss it. Also, if you're making choices, you can choose options where it's stated that there are no artificial additives. That obviously is going to lead you in the better direction. And then if you're making products at home and you want to use dyes, you can opt for other versions that might be more helpful and not artificial. We're talking about beet juice, turmeric, and other forms of additives that can help provide that color, but can help avoid that risk.
And they both stain your countertop too. I can say that for sure. All right, Dr. Sutton, thank you.
So is it moving fast enough? Well, we're going to wait and see. We're going to wait and see. I mean, even with all the other bills that are being passed, this is not on the dominant list of things that are happening. So I want to share with you for yourself where the sources are, the hidden sources of artificial food color, because some of our everyday food, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, because we got to know. We've got to know so that then we can make intentional choices. Even if I don't stop eating that particular thing, maybe I won't eat as much of it, right? See, it's not about what you do some of the time, it's what you do most of the time. And a lot of these things we do all of the time. Many of our everyday foods and drinks, they contain petroleum-based color additives. And it might surprise you. Like he said, if you want petroleum, then use it yourself at home. This presentation is going to reveal where these artificial colors are hiding and where you might want to be cautious about consuming. And of course, we can't cover everything, but I really want to hit on the things that the kids are doing, the things that we did as kids, which is why we may be having some of the challenges that we're having, because they're the primary consumers of the heavily dyed foods because they love the colors, you know. But many adults regularly eat these products too. And these items contain the highest concentrations of artificial colors. Make a note of this, because many of these are marketed to the children. But as I said before, some of us adults are doing them too. Fruit flavored cereals. Most of them have red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1. Gummy snacks and fruit roll-ups. I love those fuzzy worms. I mean, you know, gummy worms, fuzzy worms. They got the red 40 and the yellow 6. Sports drinks. OMG. Yellow 5 and blue 1. Mac and cheese. Uh-oh, no, you didn't. Yellow 5 and yellow 6. And the colorful birthday cakes and the frostings. Red 40 and blue 1. And just remember back in school with your crayons, anytime you get another color, you have to mix some colors together, right? So that's even more. Beverages. Dyes in your daily drinks. Soft drinks, orange sodas, red sodas. Oh my God, I love Big Red. Citrus varieties often contain red 40, yellow 5, and other petroleum-based dyes that provide their vibrant colors. Energy drinks like Monster, Red Bull. They rely on yellow 5, blue 1, and red 40 to create their distinctive eye-catching appearances. And adult beverages. Yep, the pre-mixed cocktails, the wine coolers, and the flavored coffee creamers. Oh my God. I love, you know what I love? I'm telling on myself, I love the Jamaica Me Happy, okay? Contain artificial color blends not listed specifically on labels. But we have to make the intentional changes ourselves.
Not this, don't do this. Don't do this. Hey, what's going on, good people? What is going on? I'm Rochelle T. Parks. I am your health motivator. Guys, let's debunk some of these myths, okay? You're dehydrated. Do you go for Gatorade? No. Powerade? No. Liquid IV? No. We don't do any of these things, guys. They're filled with artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, high fructose corn syrup, all bad juju, guys. What should you do if you need to hydrate? Drink water, spring water, guys. That's all you need. Now, some say you can add a little pink Himalayan salt in there. It can help increase your hydration. It says it pulls water into the cells. If you're asking Coach Ro, just get you some water, okay? You're feeling like dehydrated, I need something, water.
Trying to figure out what's good, what's bad on the back of a nutrition label, right, on the back of a food label, that can be pretty tricky, okay? I want to show you exactly the method I use to determine what's good, what's bad, so you won't fall for the okie doke. Stick around. I'm going to share my method with you. There are many things to consider. The first thing I want you to know that you have the nutrition label, you have the ingredients label, okay? What's in the ingredients label, that's what's going to kill you. Your artificial colors, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, red 40, artificial sugars, right? Aspartame, your sucralose, like these are no-nos. How about monosodium glutamate, MSG? These are obvious no-nos, right? In the nutrition label, let's look at the sugar. We don't want a whole lot of sugar. We don't want a whole lot of sodium. I'm not really tripping on calories. I'm not really tripping on fat. I can run off fat. I can run off calories. I can't run off cancer, okay? So these are things we should pay attention to. How about the number of ingredients? We should look at that too. If something has 50 million ingredients, that's a lab experiment. We don't want that. Let's look at the order also. Usually what is made most of is in the first 2 or 3 ingredients, right? So if your first ingredient is sugar, you know, the thing is mostly sugar. We don't want that as well. So there are many different things you should consider when you're looking at nutrition label, right? The devil is in the details, guys. Don't fall for the okie-doke.
Chester Cheetah is not getting that color from cheddar cheese. It's from yellow number 6. Pain reliever with blue number 1. Red velvet cake mix, more like red velvet number 40 cake mix. Your favorite sports drink, red, because of red number 40. My friends, artificial colors like red 40 are derived from petroleum or crude oil. And here's the worst part about it. In the US, we allow that. But in other countries like England or the UK, they say no to red number 40 and yellow 5. They have to make those drinks with real food colorings like beta carotene or beets. And guess what? A lot of kids' foods have it in there too. Kids love fruit snacks, but not so much when it has red 40 and blue 1. How about Toucan Sam? They color their cereal with a triple dose of artificial colors, and that's a problem because artificial colors are directly linked to hyperactivity and obesity. And you're giving these to kids and they're bouncing off the wall and they can't focus. This is a prime example of profits over people. Avoid artificial colors at all costs.
At all costs. There's some unexpected sources. Okay, are you ready for this, guys? Condiments and dressings. Many adults are unaware that French and Catalina salad dressings, yeah, that's that orange, right? Get their vibrant color from red 40, while pickles and relish often contain yellow 5 for that bright green appearance. Savory snacks, the flavored chips, especially barbecue and buffalo varieties. Canned soups, even hot dogs regularly contain red 40, yellow 6, and carmine. Fast food condiments often use caramel coloring and red 40. Breakfast and bakery items. Oh my God. Flavored instant oatmeal, prepackaged bakery goods, even some healthy breakfast items which may contain multiple artificial dyes to enhance their visual appeal. Trying to make it look good, they don't care about it. It's killing us.
I'm right here in front of the mouthwash, guys, and I know it. You say, Rochelle, I gotta have fresh smelling breath, and I get it, guys, but I need you to have breath. What are you talking about? Look at this color, it's green. What colors make green? Yellow and blue makes green, so if you flip it around, it has yellow 5 and blue 1. Yellow and blue makes green. What makes purple? Blue and red. You flip it around, blue 1 and red 40. Guys, come on, these are artificial colors that link to cancer. This is bad juju, guys, so while you're worried about having fresh smelling breath, I'm worried about you having breath. Stop ingesting these toxins every single day. Flip it around, become a label reader, guys. Let's live.
Hey, what's going on, family? If you like the information you just received, but you like to learn more,
I used to say something. I said, you know what? Anytime it says no sugar added, siren should go off in your head. I found something where it says no sugar added, and it really has no sugar added. You want to know what it is? Stick around. I'm about to tell you. Hey, what's going on? Good people, what is going on? I'm Rochelle T. Parks. I am your health motivator. Come on, Mott's 1842 no sugar added applesauce. Guys, I promise you, because this right here used to have some artificial sugar. Now it does not. Okay, no artificial sugar. It says unsweetened, no artificial flavors or colors. A good source of vitamin C. Y'all, we're right here in Costco. You can come here and get it in bulk. You can get the regular or you can get the organic. Then get you some Mott's today.
Hey, what's going on, family? If you like the information.
So she gave a plug for Mott's. See, because reading the label, it means everything doesn't have the artificial colors. So you don't want to assume anything. But that just blew me away, right? The mouthwash. Oh my God. Colors you might be absorbing. Artificial dyes aren't just in foods. They're in children's vitamins because they color them to make them look good for the kid to take it. Toothpaste, especially the kid varieties. Mouthwash, as Rochelle just told us, and liquid medications, red 40 and yellow 6. And these aren't introduced traditionally exposure pathways through the mucous membranes, and these may be absorbed more directly than even the food dyes because of how they're getting into our body. So let's take a look at this. You see why I'm calling this color me sick? See that red 40, it popped up everywhere, didn't it? 90% products contain Red 40. Red 40 is found in over 90% of the artificial coloring. And that's not the one that was banned. It was Red 3 that was banned, that they finally said, okay, we'll ban this from the United States. Not Red 40. Over 90% of artificial colored foods in the United States, making it the most consumed color additive. The major health concerns, causing hyperactivity, behavioral changes in children, allergic reactions, and she did say obesity. That covers all of us. 29 countries have restrictions. 29 countries. The European countries require warning labels on foods containing Red 40 and other artificial colors, while some have banned certain dyes entirely. So let's check the label. Leave today, check the label, check the label, check the label. Look for artificial colors. Look for FD&C Red 40 or other specific dye names that you mentioned, that they may be hiding the fact that it is Red 40.
What? What did you just ask me? Do I drink Gatorade? Now, you know good and well I do not drink Gatorade. Why? Because it has artificial colors in it. That's why. I know. You don't know why. Don't worry. Stick around. Let me finish these dishes. Stick around. I'm going to tell you why it's bad. Hold on. Hey, what's going on, good people? What is going on? I am Rochelle T. Parks. I am your health motivator. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Don't Fall for the Okie Doke. Nope, don't you do it, guys. Don't fall for the okie doke. Okay, so listen, our topic of discussion for today is artificial colors, right? Artificial colors. Before we even get into that, this is the mind frame I need for you to be in. So our bodies, like, these are real bodies. I am a live body, like live, like real. This is a real body. So why would I want to put anything artificial in it? Okay, that's the first thing. Like, just keep that as a frame of reference as we talk about these artificial colors, right? So you say, what's the deal? First of all, I don't even know what they are, but after you tell me that, like, what's wrong with it? Well, artificial colors are linked to many health issues, right? So you know what these are. Just listen to me for a second. So you've seen this on the back of some food labels. How about this? Red 40, okay? Blue 1, yellow 5, yellow 6. You've seen those. I'm sure you have. You have flipped the package around, read the ingredients label, and you have seen that. Probably didn't have a clue of what it meant. But I'm about to let you know, guys, those are bad. You know, I like to say that's bad juju, okay? Those are bad for us. You say, what? Why? What? Come on, Rochelle, tell me. Well, amongst other things, let me tell you what it's linked to. It's linked to ADHD in kids, right? ADHD in kids, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Now, come on now. How many kids running around here with Ritalin? And I mean, we're putting our kids on medication thinking that's the issue, when we might just need to remove the artificial colors from their diet. Right? Come on, it's in everything. Like, it's in a lot of stuff, right? But before I tell you what it's in, how about this? This is the big one. ADHD, right? We talked about that, where artificial colors is also linked to cancer. Come on, linked to cancer? No. If anything that's linked to cancer, I don't want any parts of. I'm gonna tell you that right now. For me and mine, nope, no artificial colors here. We try to avoid it at all costs. You say, okay, you got my attention, so where can I find it? Well, you find a birthday cake, right? Listen, the icing, if it's blue 1. If you got red icing, red 40, okay? Yellow 5. You green, okay? What makes green? Yellow and blue makes green. So you'll see yellow 5, blue 1. Come on, you know, we learned that in elementary school. Yellow and blue makes green, okay? This is no good. How about my red velvet cake lovers, okay? Well, where are you getting that red color from? Is it from beets? I hope so, but probably not. It's probably from artificial color, okay? Let's think about our candy. M&M's, come on now, all those colors in there, those are artificial colors. I promise you they're not getting those colors from beets and vegetables. Artificial colors. How about sports drinks? Think about it. Your Gatorades, your Powerades, or whatever. You got to read the label, guys. I'm not saying every sports drink has artificial colors. What I am advising you to do, what I'm recommending, is that you flip it around and read the label. Packaged foods, okay? Salad dressings. You make a nice, big, healthy salad, right? And then you kill it with some artificial color in your dressing, right? Snack food, so many things. And so I have some right here in front of us. So let's talk about this. Now, come on now. Velveeta skillets, 1-pan dinner kits, right? For that busy family who's trying to feed their family on the go all the time, don't have time to, spend an hour making a meal. This says right here, ready in 20 minutes. Just add ground beef. That's going to get somebody. They're going to say, oh, that's it. That's what I need right there. But when you flip it around, guys, what is it? You go down here right at the yellow 5, yellow 6. Yellow 5, yellow 6. No good. No good. Woo! You said, I'm eating healthy. I'm eating healthy. Rochelle, I'm doing your fruit and veggie challenge, okay? Come on, sign me up. I'm doing it. I already got my dressing. I hope this is not the one you got, okay? Canned Steakhouse Light Raspberry Walnut Vinaigrette dressing the marinade. You're like, oh, this sounds good. But when you look on the back, blue 1, red 40. I think blue and red, does that make purple? That looks like a purple color. You see that? Blue 1, red 40 in your salad dressing. You just messed up your salad. Okay, Rochelle, I done worked out. I did what you said. I did your BMW. Now I need to replenish these electrolytes. I need to hydrate. So I got me some good old Powerade. Well, I hope you didn't get this right here, because you see, this how they got you. Advanced electrolyte system helps replenish 4 electrolytes lost in sweat. That's how they got you. But see, you didn't flip it around and read that label when it said yellow 5, yellow 6. That's what you didn't read. Okay, don't fall for the okie doke, guys. No, I am not saying that all sports drinks have artificial colors. What I am saying, flip it around and read the label. Okay, we got some burgers on the grill. Come on now, burgers on the grill. Then you got your old-fashioned sweet bread and butter chips, and they're nice and crunchy. Y'all know about these. Listen, I ate these when I was as a young kid. We used to put these, but look on the back of here. Yellow 5. And the pickles, though? The pickles not even safe. Come on, read your labels. No, all pickles are not created equal, guys. Read your labels. How about this? Water enhancer. Who are my little Mio folks out there? Come on, the little Mios, the fruit punch. To make, Russia, I just need to put something in my water to make it taste good. Don't nobody care about what you, listen, drink your water. You don't need to put some fruit in it. Real fruit, not this fake stuff. This is artificial color, right? Fruit punch. So what color is that? Red. So what's in it? Red 40. Right here, guys. Don't do it. Don't fall for the okie doke, okay? And you say, ooh, Jell-O? Come on now. We've been making this for a long time. And then here it is. Now this is how they get us. You say, I'm going to give my children a quick, nutritious snack. Or my diabetics that say, you know what, I want a snack, but I'm trying to avoid sugar. So this is how they get you. Sugar-free. You remember? That's a buzzword. Sugar-free, right? That's a buzzword for the sugar. But you know what else? That artificial color, right? Artificial color. We're not thinking about that. We're not thinking about it. So if it's red, what does it have? Red 40. Red 40. Guys, don't fall for the okie doke. This is not good. This has artificial sweetener and artificial color, okay? Don't fall for it. Here's one more. I just want to show you this. It's green. Come on now. Pistachio. It says right here, artificial flavor. That's a buzzword. You remember, we're real. We're real people, real beings. Why would we want to put anything that's artificial? But it tells you artificial flavor. And this is how they get you. No artificial sweeteners. Okay? See this one, artificial sweeteners. No artificial sweeteners. No high fructose corn syrup. So what it's saying, no fake sugar and no high fructose corn syrup. It says nothing, though, about no fake colors, okay? What makes green? Yellow and blue makes green. So when you look right here on this ingredient labels, yellow 5 and blue 1. Right here, guys. Listen, don't fall for the okie doke. You see how they go to great lengths to try to confuse us and try to, mix us up. But don't fall for the okie doke. Flip it around, read the label, look for buzzwords. Artificial colors. Look for buzzwords. Artificial. As soon as you see artificial, sirens should be going off in your head, guys. We're real. Okay? Let's eat real food. All right? That's all I got, guys. Hey, this is Rochelle T. Parks. I am your health motivator. And guess what? Whether you like it or not, I do not care. I can, I will, and I must continue to walk alongside you and help you to achieve optimal health. I'm out.
So since we've been doing all this, then we've got to get these toxins out of our body, okay? So I'm challenging you to detox your body. Everybody should do a detox every now and then. Do a 4-day bitters, do a 7-day, do a 21-day, do something. Get back with the person who loves you enough to tell you about this presentation. We're here every week. The bitters is an easy one to start. If you want to start there, start with a 7-day. Just get it done, because we've got to boost our digestive system. God made this body to heal itself, and we've got to regulate our appetite and support our liver, because we're messing up our liver with all these reds and yellows and greens and blues. And it's easy enough just to boil some water, drop the tea bag in there, and start the detox. And then start looking at the labels, because we're trying to reset. It's all about the reset, okay? You actually can reset your body. You have the control, not the doctor, not the medication. You have the reset. So here's what I want you to do. Check this out. Share this with your family. Share this with your friends. Share this with somebody, anybody that will half listen. I don't care if they don't even whole listen. If they just half listen, a piece of this might drop in their spirit, in their brain, and make them make a different choice when they go to the grocery store. Like Rochelle said, I'm out.